Hello, I'm Nobody. You're watching Jet Lag Rock and Roll Chicago Edition. Let's go.
There's a lot of things that I love about Chicago, having been born and raised here. One of my favorite things that's still exhilarating, even being 31 years old, living here my whole life, is driving south on Lakeshore Drive, where you're cruising by all of the different harbors and you see the boats, the beautiful lakefront, and then this entire beautiful skyline just opens up in front of you as you drive south. And you see, the Drake Hotel and all these beautiful historic apartment buildings, but also the really modern steel and glass. And it's just a really striking sight that I truly love about Chicago.
What I love about Chicago is how multicultural it is. I really like the lakefront, and there's just amazing, amazing food here.
The thing I love the most about Chicago is easily the size of the rock and roll scene. There's so many different places to play any night of the week, so many good places to go to see a show any night of the week. You really can't get bored of it.
One thing I love about Chicago is how huge it is. It's a big old city that you can remain anonymous in and explore forever, and it has something for everyone, and as cool as it is, it's always going to be not quite as cool as LA or not quite as cool as New York, and I like that about it. It's amazing, it's huge. You can ride the train forever for only $2.25. The public transportation here, the CTA, the L train, is amazing. It's a great city to get lost in and to lose yourself in.
Make sure to try everything and don't get scared of visiting neighborhoods people say aren't cool, because they really are. The neighborhoods in Lincoln Park, Lakeview, Rogers Park especially, they're all awesome in their own ways and worth your time. They're close to the lake, so you can just take a walk by the lake and you won't even be upset about it. And to be honest, you might just encounter someone you weren't expecting to, or see a store, or just see an event you might like. So don't be afraid to check anything out when you're in Chicago.
It is a beautiful city, but there's also a dark side. So it's important to not walk around with your iPhone flashing your BMW keychain or whatever. This is a place where you want to actually be aware of your surroundings.
When you come to Chicago, you got to check out Lake Michigan, one of the Great Lakes. Not a good lake, but a great lake. Once again, not the oceans, but it may as well be. You can't tell that when you're sitting on the shore. So when you do go get lost in Chicago, you can never get completely lost. If you go east, you hit the lake, you hit the water, and it's a great place to sit and meditate and think and see rats and seagulls and birds and bikini babes and dudes and people working out and hot dogging and good times, great oldies. Go to the lake, get wet, soak yourself, sucker.
When people come to visit me in Chicago, I'll still take them to some of the more touristy kind of sites, not because they're easy to do, because there's still lots of cool stuff around them. You can see some enormous and clever architecture downtown, the River North and in the Loop, and you can also get to visit some extra dive bars like Rossi's, all within a couple blocks of each other.
My favorite site in Chicago is definitely the Art Institute of Chicago. Our art museum on Michigan Avenue, they just built a new modern wing. It's a beautiful place. It's, as a member, awesome to visit frequently and for free. So if I'm downtown, I'll pop in, get free coffee, and get inspiration for the day. There's anything from the medieval armor, which is super cool axes and like awesome metal outfits, to beautiful furniture by Frank Lloyd Wright, as well as French Impressionism. You've got your Monets, you got your Seurat's, you got your Warhol, you got anything you could ever wish for in one place under one roof. And again, even as a native Chicagoan, it's maybe a touristy thing for some, but really a beautiful place to find peace. And also get a really cheap lunch in the basement where they have a cafeteria.
I like to take people to, especially the first time they ever come to the city, is a place called Cindy's, and it's on the rooftop of the Chicago Athletics Association Hotel. It's a way old hotel from the 1800s. It actually used to be just for men, kind of only. They've recently repurposed, and now everyone is welcome. That's a very nice thing. Cindy's is this rooftop restaurant and bar. I don't recommend eating there. I would just maybe go have a drink. It's pretty pricey, but it has this balcony that has an amazing view of the lakefront, Millennium Park, tons of downtown architecture, the Maggie Daley Park. It is super awesome.
If you like dancing and television, you need to check out Chick-A-Go-Go in Chicago. If you're lucky, it'll be filming when you're visiting here. You might go on the internet, figure it out, but it's Chicago's longest running public access show. It's a dance show for children of all ages, big and little. You can dress up, you don't have to dress up. You can dance crazy, you don't have to dance crazy. It's the best time. It'll make you feel like a little kid again, and it's run by Jake Austin, who's an ambassador of Chicago, runs Rocktober Zine, which you can find at Quimby's. And I couldn't recommend dancing on Chick-A-Go-Go more, you lucky so-and-sos.
Every Chicagoan has their own hot dog place, and mine's Susie's Drive-In on the northwest side. You can actually knock out a few staples of this one. You can get your hot dog, no ketchup, of course. That is definitely a big no-no here in town. And Italian beef. They also serve fries in a large taco shell with cheese for some reason. The best part of this place is it's open 24 hours.
Well, when you're in Chicago, you gotta get a Chicago-style hot dog, because they mess it up everywhere else in the country, because they don't steam the buns, pro tip. But if you want to get the best steamed bun hot dog in Chicago, in my opinion, go to Byron's on Irving Park Road. It's been there over 40-something years. You get a Vienna beef dog, which is how we do it here. All the toppings. They even do it a little crazier. You call it running it through the garden when you get everything, but they take it to a next level. Besides the tomatoes, the relish, the mustard, the celery salt, the pickle, they put like cucumbers and lettuce and green peppers, which I don't really recommend, but to each their own. Tiny little hole in the wall. You want to go there when it's nice out so you can sit outside, otherwise you're stuck at a little counter. And yeah, get yourself a Chicago-style hot dog at Byron's.
My favorite restaurant in Chicago that I go to dine by myself or bring friends or family or visiting pals is Lula Cafe in Logan Square. It's across the street from a beautiful monument with a little park. It's also one of the first kind of like hipster contemporary American restaurants to anchor in Logan Square. It's been there for more than a decade. And one of my favorite things to get there is the beef bruschetta, which is like a little toast, and it's got some goat cheese. And they usually have a great seasonal salad, which in the wintertime could be a warm salad. In the summer, you get all your farm-to-table kind of delicious vegetables and fruits in there. It's friendly to vegetarians and people who want, like a beautiful steak. So it's a great place, and I also recommend the carrot cake.
When I go out to eat with anyone I really care about, I want to take them to eat the best food they can possibly have, and there's no question that Ground Control in Logan Square has got the best food around right now. I'm not even a vegetarian. I just can't stand eating meat all the time. Every restaurant in Chicago seems to have this obsession with creating as many meat varieties as possible. I just like to eat something simple like the mushroom po' boy sandwich they have over there. It's just insane. It doesn't taste like an authentic po' boy, but it's better than anything you'll eat for the buck.
So a great place to go for like kind of the Chicago dining experience is a place called Gene and Georgetti's in downtown. Lots of celebrities, photos on the wall, super old school steakhouse, almost, Capone-ish vibe. Probably hasn't changed too much in very, very, very long time. Almost more about just what's going on inside the place than actual what's on your plate, but definitely a must go to when you're in Chicago.
My favorite record store in Chicago is Reckless Records. It's been going a long time. I believe they started in London, England. It's a full-service record store with everything from experimental to jazz to soul, oldies, new punk, just, you know, full-on record store. They even got the CDs, the tapes, posters, plastic baggies, the things to wipe your records, and it's a very knowledgeable staff. They buy, sell, trade. It's been going forever. It's the staple, I would say, Chicago record store. It's located in lovely Boys Town, a lot of hot dogs around there, and there's also one in Wicker Park.
If you're in town, you have to go to Bric-a-Brac Records in Logan Square. There's no question that they have the best selection of used vinyl, new vinyl, local releases, cassette tapes, and they curate the best selection of toys and like games and comics and weird magazines you ever find.
It's like walking into a rock and roll Pee-wee's Playhouse. They also do free shows, generally 3 days out of the week. They'll have touring bands playing there with local bands, and it's free, and it's BYOB. They have a corgi in there that you can pet named Dandelo. And it's really incredible. Every single time I walk in there, I'm impressed and happy and just blown away by how much it's constantly changing. The two owners are a married couple, they're adorable, and Jen is a visual artist, which has a lot to do with the aesthetic of the store. And they're both collectors, and it's a crazy, very cool spot that I highly recommend stopping in.
My favorite record store would probably have to be Permanent Records. I seriously dare you to walk in that place and not spend money. They're also super cool dudes. They come and DJ local shows. They have shows there. They have free in-stores. Definitely a really great place to have in Chicago.
Great record store in Chicago is in Lincoln Square. It's called Lori's Planet of Sound. It's a modest size. You know, there's a lot of shops in Chicago. You've got Reckless Records, multiple locations, Permanent Records. But Lori's Planet of Sound has a special place in my heart because I worked there as a teenager, and it's bred a lot of really important people in the music industry and community here in Chicago, where Eli Caterer from the Smoking Popes worked there, John Seba, who's a big ska DJ, and went on to open Logan Hardware. He was a really important figure at Lori's Planet of Sound for years. And what they're really known for is their DVD selection. So if you're looking for an obscure music documentary or like live concert DVD, chances are you can find it at Lori's Planet of Sound. And one of my favorite things there also that they've maintained over the years is they have this cool glass display full of buttons and other ephemera. They've had it since I was a kid. And the staff, of course, is great. There's a lot of kooky, cute little things that you can get in addition to cassettes and used 45s, and everything's pretty decently priced. And I'm really happy that a place like that has survived all of these years. So Lori's Planet of Sound is a great place to visit.
I like to take people for shopping, I guess, to the Wicker Park neighborhood, AKA, I guess people call it the Crotch now.
There's the Six Corners, Damon, North Avenue in Milwaukee.
It is definitely going through this change now where corporations and chain stores are kind of coming in, but there's still some really great shops there. There's Myopic Books, Reckless Records is on that block, lots of vintage clothing stores, so there's kind of something for everyone there.
It's just the kind of neighborhood that you can get lost in. If you're visiting here in Chicago for the first time, it's a place that someone can just drop you off and you can find something to do.
My absolute favorite place to shop in Chicago, where I take everyone and I recommend everyone go, is Quimby's. It used to be Quimby's Queer Store, now it's Quimby's Comics and Zines, I believe is the full title. Either way, it is a queer-ass comic and zine store, and I mean queer by meaning just weird and awesome and wonderful, and it's a full-on comic book shop, full-on bookstore, and all the zines that the kids are talking about. Just a really weird, cool spot that's a great part of Chicago history. It's been going for a long time. Started as a very small shop in Wicker Park, back when Wicker Park was a little different and weirder and rougher and hardier, and now it's somehow managed to stay there in this crazy neighborhood that has changed a bit. But Quimby's, the weirdos remain the same. You can get your creepy, crappy, crazy, kooky stuff there at Quimby's.
West Town, Chicago Avenue area is definitely where you want to be for some shopping. You can stop in at Permanent Records, pick up some excellent vinyl, head across the street, Atomic's Coffee, get yourself a cup of coffee, walk over to Alcala's, get yourself some cowboy boots, stop at Tommy's Guitar Shop, get some picks, and then get another cup of coffee if you're really that thirsty.
Empty Bottle is probably my favorite club, you know, to see live music in Chicago, maybe possibly even the world. It's very cheap. It's total shithole. They have bands there 7 days a week. It's just, I don't know, just an amazing place of, you know, rock and roll history. So many bands that play there, and I've had so many great nights there. So it's definitely like recommended. You have to go to Empty Bottle if you're going to go see a show in Chicago.
The Hideout is a sweet spot that, as the name implies, is a little hidden down a little side street. And it's a really cool little spot. It's a smallish room and it has kind of a Elks Lodge vibe to it, kind of a wooden old house in the middle of nowhere.
The Hideout is an awesome venue to see any genre of music, from punk rock to bluegrass, country. You can go there and it's just a Pandora's box of bands that are local to Chicago and also a lot of touring acts. They have a great drink called the Wooden Leg, which is my favorite thing to get there. It's rye whiskey, soda, lemon, and some bitters. Mavis Staples was nominated for a Grammy for her live performance there, even though it's like a 100-person capacity live room. Little Christmas lights above it. You know, it's not this huge auditorium, it's a very intimate place to see a show, which makes it fun and very inviting.
Going to Cole's Bar is one of the most important things you can do any day of the week. It's just the epicenter of all music activity in Logan Square at this point, and it is definitely my favorite club or bar to go to. You won't find better deals, you won't find better staff, and you won't find a better time, especially if you just roll with whatever's happening there. Without a question, my favorite bar to go to right now is the Blind Robin over on Western Avenue. It's just got the low-key, laid-back vibe you really want out of any bar. You know, you don't want to really be elbowing people through the line to get your next drink. And the bartenders are super sweet, and they always are playing great tunes, so it's a must-stop, at least every weekend for me.
My favorite bar in Chicago is a little out of the way. It's not really in a cool neighborhood, but if you're looking for something a little different, it might be worth your time. It's called the Bim Bom, maybe the Bim Bom Lounge. From the outside, it really grabs your eye. It's covered in big corrugated steel, kind of bending out. It looks like a weird Dr. Seuss, like it might be a steampunk bar, but then you go inside and it's got a dark, red, velvety, creepy old man bar feel to it. Lots of locals. It's a Polish bar. They only have 2 kinds of beer on draft, and they're both Polish beers that I don't know how to pronounce. The bathrooms are covered with lots of dirty pictures for all you perverts. They got pool tables, they got foosball, and really cheap drinks, and I couldn't highly recommend it more for an authentic, weird Chicago dive bar meets something creepy experience if you're looking for that sort of thing.
Rainbow Club's a bar I would definitely take people from out of town. Has a ton of history. I've been going there for 20 years. I think some of the same bartenders from back then are still there. Has a old school photo booth, some video games, and it's super, super cheap to drink at. Definitely more of a kind of artist and musician crowd, so it's definitely a place to take people from out of town.
Favorite bar in Chicago is totally the 96th floor of the Hancock Building, the Signature Lounge. You're literally perched above the entire city of Chicago. You can see Indiana, the state, technically from up there. And I love to get a dirty martini. And it's an awesome place to take a friend and just look at either the glittering lights of the city at night, or the beautiful lake you can see from up there, and all of the little cars look like ants streaming down Lakeshore Drive. And of course there's a ton of awesome dive bars in Chicago. You see the old style signs, but this is a place where if you really want to enjoy yourself and experience something special, go there.